In the darkest years of the Accord, war swept the stars. The enemy was the Aetherian Swarm, a hiveman species, vast and relentless, that devoured worlds for resources, caring nothing for memory or mercy. For decades, the Accord lost ground. Dozens of worlds fell, billions vanished. The Accord called for evacuation, then for war, then for surrender. Once a counselor, then a war refugee, she'd lost her home, her brother, and her faith in the old promises. In the chaos, she rallied not just humans, but shattered survivors from every species, aliens who had once fought against each other, now united by the simple urge to live. When the last line of defense was breached at Icarus Station, Sana was the lowest-ranking officer left alive. Navigators begged her to turn back, but she pressed on. But Earth, ruined, battered, down to its last cities, did not surrender. Captain Sana Imani was nobody's idea of a hero. The escape order was given, but Sana refused to leave a single soul behind. The escape was legend. Under fire, Sana led her ragtag convoy into the Shadow Rift, a region all maps marked as certain death. Her reasoning: if nowhere is safe, we go where even death is afraid to follow. The rift was strange. Ships lost time, saw ghosts, experienced memories that weren't their own. A young Vren engineer remembered his mother's lullabies, though he'd never met her. Sana dreamed of her brother, alive and safe. The swarm's drones, pursuing, began to malfunction, caught in the rift's strange web of echoes and possibilities, 'cause I know what it's like to be one. The refugees wanted to destroy it, but Sana insisted. Every enemy has a story. I want to know theirs. That's when the impossible happened. But as the days passed, the strange energies of the rift and the relentless care of the convoy changed her. She began to mimic their words, then their songs, then their laughter. Sana shared her grief. Akko shared the endless hunger and loneliness of the swarm. A swarm drone, damaged, was found drifting among the convoy. The longer they stayed, the more the rift tried to claim them, feeding on old pain. Sana grew weak, haunted by memories of loss. Echo, by her old connection to the swarm. They brought the drone aboard. Inside was a single Aetherian child, barely more than a flicker of consciousness. Sana named her Echo. Echo revealed the swarm's endless hunger was not a choice, but a curse created when her ancestors tried to escape their own extinction. At first, Echo was silent, her thoughts alien and disjointed, but I will not be their weapon. Why do you love your enemies? Echo asked. Sana smiled, tears in her eyes. As the convoy struggled through the rift, they faced trial after trial. A gravitic storm that threatened to tear them apart survived only because Echo showed them a swarm method for interlinking holes never before shared with outsiders. A food shortage solved when Echo and the Vren combined swarm and human hydroponic tech, creating a crop that fed every species. Some chose to remember, to love, to hope, fragmenting the hive mind. A mutiny among the refugees averted when Echo risked her own life to save a child who had once thrown stones at her. The two became the heart of a new alliance, one built not on fear or firepower, but on the radical and possible act of loving your enemy. Each time Sana refused to let anyone go, no matter the risk, no matter how many warned her she was being a fool. But the rift was not just strange, it was alive and learning. At the brink of despair, Sana and Echo faced the rift's living storm of memory and grief. The only way through was to share the one story they most feared to tell. Sana confessed her guilt at surviving when her brother did not. Their confession opened a path. The convoy emerged from the rift's guard, but alive. But the swarm waited for them, their fleet dark and implacable, blocking every escape. Echo stepped forward, choosing, I will speak for them. Using her connection to the swarm and the stories, laughter, and love she'd learned from the refugees, Echo reached out, not with threats, but with memory. She shared Sana's courage, the Vron's lullabies, the taste of new food, the joy of saving a life. For the first time in galactic history, the swarm hesitated. A single word echoed across the fleet. Change. The swarm broke from within. Those who could not accept change departed into the dark. Those who stayed became something new, joining the Accord. Not as enemies, but as family. Sana adopted Echo. The convoy became a symbol of festival of found family, where every year, survivors from every species told the story of the girl who loved her enemy and changed the fate of the stars. And somewhere, in the quiet between worlds, the rift whispered a new story, a promise that the wildest hope, the most reckless love, can turn even the worst of enemies into the best of friends.